a minute. Let me tell you how I actually reached here. Assalamu alaikum guys, this is Muhanna Ghanem and welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing absolutely fine. And finally the time has come when we are flying to Turkey for our new travel adventure. But wait a minute, I have a baby who's 11 months old. And so we had to do so much research because we were traveling for the first time, and I wanted to know what are the tips and tricks that I have to do in order to fly with the baby. So if you are a new parent and traveling with your baby for the first time, I had made a video with our experience and shared it, and you can find this video over here where I have discussed 10 tips. So if you like, you could watch it, or else you can have your own experience and come up with new tips according to your baby's preferences. So Ghanem is going for his first adventure. Bye bye. And time to get our luggages done. Always before flying, it is our family tradition to have burgers, and the burger joint which we always choose is Chimneys for its yummy burger and delicious fries. And the burger which I always take is Big J while traveling, because the trip is going to be big trip. And that is our flight waiting for us. We booked this flight at night knowing that our baby will be sleeping at this time. And see how my baby is sleeping. I love you, Ghanem. So the journey begins, and the first destination is Cappadocia. So from Bahrain we took a flight to Cappadocia, and the first destination was Istanbul airport. Welcome to Istanbul. The flight is landing in Istanbul. So make sure you are carrying your strollers, but in our case, our plan failed and the baby did not want to be in stroller at all. And make sure to keep your child entertained throughout the journey and let them make new friends, let them explore the airport, let them run here and there. Just let them enjoy. Tada! The baby is sleeping, it's his nap time. We took a flight from Istanbul to Cappadocia. Local flights in Turkey are quite cheap and the best option to fly from city to another. We made sure that we booked a driver in advance to avoid any hassle. Cappadocia is located near the center of Turkey, about 500 kilometers from Antalya and 800 kilometers from Istanbul. So this is the beautiful view from our hotel in Cappadocia. And delicious food prepared by my wife. And now we are just going to eat our dinner in Cappadocia, which is even our first night over here. And we decided to eat delicious kebabs of Cappadocia. See how juicy these kebabs are, and my baby Ghanem is super excited to try these delicious kebabs. Mouth watering. Hot air balloons, one of the main attractions in Cappadocia, and it was the reason for me to choose my first city in Cappadocia. Hot air balloons was always on my bucket list, and there was no other place better to begin with Cappadocia. Hot air balloons floating into the sky during the sunrise and seeing the beautiful rock formation from above is surely a magical thing we have never seen. So just sitting in the hot air balloon was not only the fun, it was the entire process of reaching to the final destination, to the final hot air balloon, was also amazing, because we had to wake up around 3:30 in the morning, take shower, and sharp at 4 o'clock our bus reached our hotel. And then we hopped onto the bus and reached to the site where hot air balloons were bringing in. And the deflated hot air balloons were laid down over the ground till we had our breakfast. and then we just hopped into the balloon so that we are in the air before the sun rises. This activity, this adventure, this bucket list thing is a must while in Cappadocia. We recommend to pre-book this ride as soon as possible because it gets full quickly, and maybe day or 2 days you won't find a booking. You can't miss out on this experience. We greatly missed our son though, who was not allowed to be on the balloon, but our host Mr. Yusuf was so good that he kept our son with his family. Initially the balloon went to a very high altitude, and throughout the 40 minutes ride it was going up and down, and finally we got to see our sunrise. And this was one of the most beautiful sunrise that I was experiencing with my wife, and that made my whole day. The landing was too smooth on the truck and we did not even know that we landed. And by the way, my wife was pregnant when we went for the hot air balloon journey. Usually they say that pregnant women are not allowed on the hot air balloon. But according to me, it's fine, but you can check with your doctor. The flight usually lasts around 45 minutes to an hour, and almost an hour goes in coming from your hotel and back to the hotel. End of the journey you even get certificate and good drinks. If you're Muslim, you get halal drinks only. The next must visit attraction is the underground city. So in Cappadocia there are more than 200 underground city, but we visited the biggest underground city and it was amazing. There are more than 200 underground cities in Cappadocia. It helped the inhabitants from outsiders and to live in total secrecy and save themselves from any wars. We visited one of the longest and deepest underground city of Cappadocia, which is 7 floors below the ground level, and it is called Derinkuyu. Make sure this place is on top of your list to must visit place. One of the things which at the beginning I noticed was as soon as we entered inside the city, it was super cool. So I asked our guide, is the AC running in the cave? But she was like, no, there is no AC at all. It's the ambience, it's the environment created by the rocks. So the temperature outside the underground city, which is located in Derinkuyu, was around 32-33 degree, but the sun was shining so bright and we were feeling so hot. But the moment we entered the cave, it was chill. Here you'll find various rooms such as dining room, living room and storage room, along with their kitchen, toilet and churches. It gets colder as we move down and down. We recommend to visit with a guide because without guide it's just stones and cave. Plus you can even get lost in the way. the next destination is Ihlara Valley, and this valley is 10 kilometers long. So the moment we reached Ihlara Valley, we were at the top of the mountain and we had to climb down from the stairs, looking at this beautiful view of the forest. And we started climbing down and down, and then we reached to a point from where river was flowing downwards, and we started walking through the whole valley, and it's a very nice trek. And if you're with your family as well, you could easily cover this trek while looking at the caves. And if you're with your travel guide, so they will be explaining you so many things or incidents that happened along the way. And you can stop next to the river and take some beautiful pictures. So we trekked all this way. While trekking, as you reach closer towards the end, there is a beautiful restaurant which is built on the lake itself. So while you take tea, coffee, or you're just relaxing, you could just put your feet in the water and enjoy the beautiful view, the sound of the water flowing. It's so calming. Goremi Open Air Museum. This isn't an everyday museum. It's actually a large outdoor area home to various monasteries, church and chapel carved out of rocks. Some still have the original painting on their wall. So we spent so much time exploring the open air museum. There were so many spots where you could stand and click pictures. Then we took a cab to go to Imagination Valley, where the mountain looked like animals and this looked like a camel. So I was looking at some of the mountains and asking my wife, does this look like a camel? Does this look like a horse? Does this look like an elephant? Sometimes it looked, she agreed, and sometimes she didn't. Tasty kebab, mutton cooked in a pot. This looks so beautiful and tempting. Let's try it. In the evening, we visited Sunset Point. We saw there a beautiful sunset. MashaAllah, Ghanem see us praying every time. So he listens azan and he makes dua. So this was our host, Mr. Yusuf's daughter. They became good friends and we actually had breakfast together. This is a nice property and you could see Hotair Balloon from the terrace itself. And if you love to do barbecue, you could request the host, Mr. Yusuf, and he can arrange for you all the equipments required and the ingredients and even get you the meats. And in the evening you could do barbecue, which is fantastic. So we were staying at the property and there was a whole school team who was staying at the same property and they used to do barbecue in the evening. So whenever we plan a trip, my wife always falls sick. No, I mean only for this trip she fell sick. So what happened was, before we take the flight in the afternoon, she fell sick and she was having an ear infection. But since she was pregnant, the doctor said she cannot take any antibiotics. So we had to just leave with Panadol and we reached Cappadocia. But on the third night in Cappadocia, my wife's ear started to bleed and I really panicked, like what was happening. And it was happening right around 2 o'clock in the night. So I went to the host and I asked him, can we just go to the hospital? But our host informed us that the hospital was far away and it would take somewhere around 1 to 1.5 hours to reach while waiting for the ambulance or the car to come. So we decided the next day we would go to the hospital and get it checked. And we prayed that night and just slept for that day. And next day, when we got up, our host took us to the hospital, which was around 45 minutes or 1 hour away. And once we reached the hospital was in a good location and well-equipped hospital. They actually checked her ears with cameras The doctor prescribed antibiotic though, and he was like, it is completely safe during the pregnancy. So make sure if such things happen, do not panic, visit the doctor, and they might give you the best option for you. Thank you guys for watching the video till the end. If you find the video useful and you got some information from the video, please make sure to subscribe the video, like and share it with your friends so we get more encouragement to make similar content. Initially the balloon went to a the balloon goes in the initially the balloon then we took a cab to go to Imagination Valley, and before we reached the Mashallah, see Ghanem, whenever azan happens, he just raises his hand and makes dua. Mashallah, my boy, I love you, Ghanem. Remove your hand. Maybe in future, he might date her.
No, don't tell that.
Or maybe in future, he might go a solo trip with her. So whenever we plan to travel, my wife always falls sick. So whenever we plan to travel, my